Let's talk about the power jerk versus the split jerk. Hey guys, Mona here. Welcome to my channel where I talk about all things mindset and weightlifting. And today we are going to be covering a weightlifting topic, the power jerk versus the split jerk. Now, I always say there's a time and place in your program for both of them to fit into it. But when it comes to the competition lifts, I want to tell you which one I prefer and why I think this could be the better option for you. So what are the two biggest differences when it comes to the power jerk and the split jerk? The overhead position, that is exactly the same, but the difference is in where you land with your feet. So with the power jerk, you jump out with your feet slightly laterally, just wider than shoulder width. So with the split jerk, you will be jumping with your feet 1 foot forward, 1 foot backwards. So you'll basically land in a high split stance. So that is the biggest difference between the split jerk and the power jerk. Now, some people might even say, yes, but Mona, you can also handle a lot more weight with the split jerk compared to the power jerk. And yes, that is true. But then again, you do get your certain athletes who are just super good overhead and they can actually power jerk a lot more than what they can split jerk, and that's why they will do the power jerk in competition. But in my opinion, unless you are potentially Lu Jiajun or CJ Cummings, I wouldn't necessarily attempt to do the power jerk in competition, just because the room for error is just so much bigger with the power jerk, and I'll explain why in the rest of my video. So let's start off talking about the power jerk. Now, the power jerk, you can either do it from rack or from blocks, or you can do a clean or a power clean, however you want to get the bar onto the front rack position. Your dip and drive with both the split jerk and the power jerk is exactly the same. With the power jerk, you will not go all the way down, because then that would be a squat jerk. Now, the power jerk is a great assistant exercise, in my opinion, to do if you are an intermediate or advanced level athlete, to do on your power days. Work on just some speed, giving the nervous system a bit of a rest, not going as heavy as what you would with your split jerk. And then when it comes to beginner level athletes, it's a great way just to teach the breakdown of the split jerk. So when it comes to teaching the split jerk, I will always say start with the press, the push press, and then going into the power jerk and then the split jerk. Another thing that's super important with the power jerk is your mobility has to be really good. Now, this is one of the big reasons why I say there's such a big room for error when it comes to the power jerk, because if you are in competition and you decide to power jerk, if that bar is just slightly forward or slightly backward, so what that means is there's a bigger chance to miss the lift in competition. Now, when it comes to the split jerk, more room to move, because if the weight does, for instance, throw you off a little bit, there is still a chance that you can save the weight. Not always, but there is a better chance with a split jerk than compared to a power jerk. If the bar does drift a little bit forward, you can get yourself under the bar a bit more. So that's why I say there is a lot more room to move in competition when it comes to the split jerk versus the power jerk. So that, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, and what I've seen with other athletes, myself as an athlete, I would much rather feel safer teaching the split jerk to an athlete. But if over the years they do show signs that they are better in the power jerk, then yes, obviously change them over to the power jerk. That will be their competition lift then. But when it comes to starting your athletes off, if you're a beginner level athlete, I would much rather prefer an athlete starting off with a split jerk when it comes to the competition lifts than starting off by doing power jerks in competition. Guys, let me know in the comments below if this video was useful, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ring that notification bell, and I will see you in the next one.